Hi, I'm Jim Thompson, and I want to welcome you to this webinar. We are going to talk about referrals, and this is my favorite subject, and I hope that after you finish with this webinar, it is going to be your favorite subject too, because it is the absolute best way to get more and better clients. This webinar will last between 45 and 50 minutes, and I'm going to share some of the secrets that I have learned over the years about referrals, both from clients and getting referrals from other attorneys. So please take notes. And I also want to mention we're going to go real quick in this, and I'm going to do another webinar in about a week where we're going to drill down a little bit more on getting referrals from clients. I can only touch base on a few things in this webinar, obviously from a time constraint, but in the next webinar, we're really going to get into what you need to be doing to get referrals from your clients. When I first meet with an attorney or a group of attorneys, one of the first questions I ask is, what business are you really in? And of course, they'll go and say, I'm a personal injury attorney, or I'm an intellectual property attorney, or I'm a transactional attorney. Yes, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm really talking about is, what business are you really in? And that is the business of getting clients. Because without getting clients, you're out of business. Again, when I meet with attorneys in a group or individually, one of the first questions I want to ask is, where does your business come from? And the answer I get most often, and I'm sure if you were with me right now, you basically answer you get most of your business from referrals, either from other attorneys or from clients. And then I asked these attorneys what they did to get these referrals. And I use a slide to illustrate this, and it's not quite as bad as it might look. But bottom line is, most attorneys will tell me that they just ask, if they ask at all, this is how they ask. They have no real plan, no method, no strategy for asking for referrals. And they just hope that somebody's going to refer them to someone by just simply saying this. And I trust me, it will not happen. Now I'm going to go through a lot of these, what we're going to teach rather quickly, because obviously time is short. But the first thing it's going to do is teach you the referral mindset, a way of thinking. And you're going to learn that everything you do will be to promote getting clients through referrals. I am often asked, what is the most important aspect with regard to getting referrals? And there are a number of things, but for me, the most important thing is having a referral mindset. And that basically means that you embrace referrals as the primary way to build your practice. It's a way of thinking. Everything you do will promote getting clients through referrals. At this point, I think it's very important to kind of give you a definition of a referral. And they're all over the place when I ask attorneys to define the referrals. But I want to share with you what I think is the absolute best definition of a referral. A referral is gold. And I was doing a program one time, and a young lady asked me, she raised her hand and asked me if she could add one word to it. And I obviously said, certainly. I'm always interested in what other people are thinking. And many times I get many good suggestions. But this is what she said. The one word I'd like to add is pure gold. And you know what? It's exactly what a referral is. Pure gold. I want to share with you something that I think will drive home a point. John Jantz is a well-known, well-respected consultant, not in the legal field, but in other small businesses. And he wrote this book, The Referral Engine. And in writing this book, he surveyed several thousand small business owners. And this is what he found. In doing his research, he found that almost 64% of those surveyed felt that over one half of their business came by way of referrals. Now, these were not lawyers. This was just in the general business population. But he then took the next step and asked this question. And the question basically was, what system or plan do you have to generate referrals? And this statistic is amazing. Almost 80% said they did not have any type of system or plan of any kind to generate referrals. And I'm thinking in terms of, well, these are small business owners that realize the importance of getting referrals, but they don't have a plan. So I don't know what the percentage would be of lawyers, but I think it would be pretty darn close to this if you did a study. And I think what he found really begs the question. If business owners know that word of mouth is so powerful, why then do they do so little to take advantage of it? And I would ask the same question of attorneys. Why do you know that referrals, getting referrals, word of mouth is so powerful, but you do so little to take advantage of it? So as an attorney, what is your plan to get referrals? Do you have one, or does this describe you? I really don't like to read from slides, but I think in this particular case, it will really drive home a point. And I call it the accidental referral. And as I read this, is this your plan? For many lawyers, referrals are a coincidence, a fortuitous happenstance, a chance, or maybe just luck. But above all, they are a pleasant surprise. It is all at once delightful and mysterious. They are thrilled to have the easiest client of their life fall right into their lap, but in reality, they do not know how or why it happened. In many cases, they don't even know where the referral came from or when they will get another referral. Again, does this describe you? Hopefully, as we're going along here, you're getting the picture that we want to change your referral mindset. And hopefully we're starting to do that. But let me go a little bit further and talk about some of the benefits of referrals that you probably maybe never even heard of or never considered. Because of the time constraints, we're going to have to go through these rather quickly, but in the next program, which we will do with regard to getting referrals from clients, we're going to really talk a lot more about some of these benefits and how they can affect you. But here are some benefits you may not have thought about. No selling, enhanced reputation, more qualified clients, less pricing concerns. Clients are more loyal to you. You get to choose your own clients. The cost, it's the return on investment is so much cheaper with referrals than any other type of way you can go about trying to get clients. And it also builds your self assurance. It builds your ego. Some of these, like I said, you may have heard of before, some you may not have, but we're going to talk about these extensively in the next webinar we're going to do in about a week. As I was going through these benefits, you're probably thinking, boy, some of these are really great, but here is the real problem. Most attorneys are absolutely terrible at getting referrals. They don't know how, so they do nothing, or they simply pray a lot, hoping that they will get that accidental referral. But it really is not your fault. You have never been taught how to get referrals, and that's what this program is all about, teaching you how to get referrals from your clients and from other lawyers. So why don't most lawyers get their share of referrals? And let me say, this goes across the business spectrum. Why don't most business owners get more referrals? And there is a very simple answer to this. Okay, I know you saw this slide come up and you're thinking to yourself, we don't ask for referrals? It's that simple? Well, yes, it is. But here is the thing. There's a way to ask for referrals. You just can't come out like that slide before I showed you and say, well, please refer me. There are specific ways to ask for referrals. And to be honest with you, there are some ways you can ask for referrals without even asking for referrals. And we're going to share some of these with you. We'll get into the asking for referrals in just a bit, but I want to change gears just a little bit and share something with you. And it's maybe something you never really thought about, and that is this. Attorneys are very lucky to have two sources of referrals. Referrals from clients and referrals from fellow attorneys. Now, I want you to think about that. Referrals from fellow attorneys. How many other professions do you know that will refer clients to their fellow professionals? You never hear of a financial planner referring a client to another financial planner, an insurance agent to another insurance agent, etc. But because there are so many specialties and subspecialties that attorneys are involved with, it is so much easier for attorneys to refer attorneys to each other. And we're going to share some of that information with you too. Referrals from fellow lawyers are the best referrals you can get, and they can be the easiest, but referrals from clients could be the easiest referrals you will ever get. Boy, is that contradictory, right? Well, let me explain. We'll talk about that in much more detail, and you'll understand exactly why I'm saying that. If you're going to get referrals, you need to know three key words, and those are know, like, and trust. Now, getting referrals, and we're going to talk about this at great length, getting referrals from clients is a little bit different, obviously, than getting referrals from other attorneys with regard to the know, like, and trust factor. But those three words you need to know if you want referrals from both clients and from other lawyers. While there are some similarities when it comes to getting referrals from clients and from attorneys, the methods and the tactics that are used can be very different. They can vary significantly. This often comes as quite an eye-opener to most attorneys. That is, there are two different methods or two different tactics that you have to use when you want to get referrals from clients and you want to get referrals from attorneys. Here is just a brief overview when it comes to getting referrals from clients. We're going to go back to the referral mindset for just a minute. Now, we talked about you having a referral mindset, but it is extremely important that your client has a referral mindset. And if your client doesn't have a referral mindset, you basically aren't going to get referrals from that client. So you are going to have to teach that client how to have a referral mindset. And we're going to, again, talk about this in much more detail. I want to explore a myth right now. I get this from attorneys all the time. Jim, all I need to do is do a good job for my clients and they're going to refer me. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you don't do a good job, obviously they're not going to refer you. But just doing a good job for your clients doesn't mean they're going to refer you. What I would like to do right now is to begin to explore some of the ways that you can get referrals from your clients. These aren't going to be all the ways. These are just going to highlight a few, if you will. I want to just go back to the three words we talked about earlier, and that's the know, like, and trust factors. Now, I mentioned that it might be easier to get referrals from clients than it is to get referrals from attorneys initially, and that is because clients know you, they like you, and they trust you. So now all you have to do is teach them how they can refer you. It's quite different with attorneys because attorneys, in many cases, do not know you. We don't know whether they like you, and they don't trust you. And we're going to explore that difference in quite more detail. But the bottom line is, This is why it's easier, at least initially, to get referrals from your clients. Those of you who have been in practice for a while have current and past clients. These are who you should be targeting for referrals. And we're going to, in the program, we'd go into great lengths to show you how to start targeting your current and past clients. Now, you're a new attorney, you just opened the doors, and you really don't have any clients per se. We're going to show you how you can get clients from people you went to high school with, college with, law school with. There are people out there that may not even know you're an attorney. So if you are brand new, just because you don't have past and current clients doesn't mean that this program will not work for you. I really like this slide because it drives home a point, and that is simply this. You've got the lawyer there and other business owners too. It's not just lawyers, is looking for clients. He's looking in trying to find other clients. He's spending money on advertising, etc. And guess what? His client is there all the time. The client that he's done stuff for, the client that knows, likes, and trusts him. All that client needs is a little love. But you know what? We abandon that client looking for other clients. And one of the things we're really going to talk about is really connecting with these clients that you already have or if you've had in the past and who have known, liked, and trusted you. What I'm saying is you have to make contact with your current and past clients. Call them up, have a coffee or lunch with them, or one of the best ways to do it is to send a note. And I'm going to share with you how you can use little note cards very, very effectively. I know you see this slide come up and you say, sure, I know I should take my clients to lunch, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about taking your client to lunch in such a way that you will be guaranteed to meet 2 or 3 other people. Now, they may not become clients, but you will get to meet 2 or 3 other people that are friends or clients of your client. And the teaching part, again, that's something that we're going to share with you and how you can talk to a client about referrals without really talking about referrals, and how you can talk to a client in terms of you wanting to help that client or you're asking that client for help. If you want referrals from your clients, you're going to have to teach them how they can refer you. And you can do this by way of questionnaires, exit interviews, testimonial letters, and we're going to teach you how you can do that. And it's a very simple process, but most attorneys don't do it, have never even thought about doing it. This is one of my favorite ways to ask for a referral without really asking for a referral. And this is your outgoing message on your voicemail or your phone system. And it's something simply like this. You say, hi, this is Jim. I'm sorry I can't take your call, blah, blah, blah. And then you say, by the way, if you were referred, please let me know who referred you so that I might thank them. Right away, you let that person know that you want referrals, that you get referrals, and that you're going to thank people for referrals. And I have had attorneys use this and have told me that it works fantastic. In fact, I've had some attorneys tell me some of their clients, business clients, have even asked if they could use this on their outgoing messages. So this will take you all of about 2 minutes, and trust me, it's probably one of the best 2 or 3 minutes you can use. This is another one of my favorites, and I really don't have time to go into the whole theory of it, but I want you to become the family lawyer. I don't want you to be a family law lawyer, if you will, and if you are, that's fine. It works for you guys too, but I want you to become the family lawyer. And think about, if you're old enough, and if you're not, well, think about it anyway, the general practitioner who used to see your family members on anything, and then refer them out. And just bear in mind, this works fantastic, and it is guaranteed to get you people in the door. And in that case, we'll get you more clients. But I will cover that in greater detail in our next webinar. Okay, I need to switch gears again, and now we're going to talk about getting referrals from other lawyers. And again, this is a new mindset change, and I'm going to go through what is important with regard to having a referral mindset with regard to getting referrals from lawyers, and it is quite different than getting referrals from clients. What I want to do now is share with you why referrals from lawyers are so much better and in essence talk about why they're so much easier to get. And here's the basic reason. Lawyers, again, depending on the type of practice they have, etc., probably at least once a month, maybe twice a month, maybe once a week, get somebody that comes into their office. They may have been referred from a former client, or they may have somehow gotten to the lawyer's office, and that lawyer cannot help that person. That lawyer has two choices: to send the person on their way saying, sorry, I can't help you, or to refer that potential client to another lawyer. Now, with a client may love you, think you are the greatest in the world, but may never come in contact with someone that they can refer. Whereas with lawyers, some lawyers can refer cases out once or twice a week. So that's one of the real benefits of developing a practice where you get referrals from other lawyers. I want you to think of the client trust factor this way. When a client goes to his lawyer or is referred to another lawyer and that lawyer can't help them, that lawyer can then get on the phone, refer that potential client to another lawyer. And that trust that initial person coming into your office has in you is then transferred to the lawyer you're referring out. We go into this in great detail, but this is incredible because the trust factor then starts right away rather than the client having to try and build up the trust factor with you. You are probably wondering exactly what do I mean? Well, here's what I'm talking about. A lawyer generally knows what other lawyers do. I have an idea what a personal injury lawyer does, a bankruptcy lawyer, a real estate lawyer. I may not know all the ins and outs of the bankruptcy codes and all the other things, but I have a pretty good idea. So when somebody comes to my office, I have a pretty good idea if I'm going to have to refer this person out, what I'm looking for in a referral. Now, with clients, here is the problem. Clients don't always know all that you do. And a perfect example of this is that, say a PI lawyer settles an automobile case for a client, and a guy, well, he just thinks that lawyer hung the moon. And so any PI case he ever gets, going to definitely send it to you. Automobile PI case. He doesn't know about other PI cases, right? So you see him about 6 months later, and you find out that in talking to him, his mom was in the hospital. The doctor screwed up, and all of a sudden you're thinking, well, medical malpractice case coming my way, right? Wrong. And the reason it doesn't come your way is because when you question John a little bit more about, well, I thought you liked me. I thought, maybe you'd come back to me. And he says, well, Jim, I sure would have. I just didn't know you did that. So with a client, it's very difficult, and you really have to take the time to educate your client as to all you do. With attorneys, they have a pretty good idea of what you do, so you don't have that problem there. Here is probably one of the best reasons for giving and also getting referrals from other lawyers, and that is the possibility of significant referral fees, especially in cases like personal injury, where if you refer a case to a personal injury lawyer, you might be getting a six-figure check in the mail saying, thanks for referring such and such case, and we settled it for $3 million, and here's your share, whatever. This does happen. And so there's always this referral fee element out there. Obviously, you can't share referral fees with clients or fees with clients, but you can with other attorneys under certain circumstances. And of course, you need to check your bar association rules as to what is allowed. So if referrals from other attorneys are so great, why don't attorneys get more referrals? Well, there are a few reasons why they don't get more referrals, but I would rather just talk about the positive and talk about why they do get more referrals. And one of the primary reasons is they actually work at getting referrals. The attorneys that are getting a lot of referrals simply know a lot of attorneys that can refer them. And one of the things we're going to talk about is how do you get to know a number of attorneys that can become your referral partners. So obviously then the question becomes, where do you find other lawyers? So where do you find other lawyers? Well, here's just a few suggestions. Bar associations, bar section meetings, but do not go to just the section meeting for your particular specialty. There's a reason for that, and I'll share that at some point. Speaking to other lawyers, say you're a tax attorney, why not have a seminar for other lawyers talking about how they can save money on their taxes? Shared offices. This has become a very big thing. Virtual lawyers and shared office space. There's a lot of lawyers in these shared office spaces and a lot of virtuals. You can meet many lawyers that way. Introductions. Let's just hypothetically say you want to meet someone and you know a lawyer that knows that person you want to meet. Ask for an introduction. This is one of the crazy things right under your nose. I don't know how many times I've been in a law firm with, say, 10 or 15, it's usually a small law firm with about 10 or 15 people, that when I talk to a lawyer, I'll say, well, do you know the other people in your law firm? Oh, yeah. Do you know what they do? Well, sometimes I think they do this or they do that. Do you really know them? And the answer is no, they don't. So there may be lawyers right under your nose that you need to get to know, and we'll share ways you can do that. And I want you to think about yourself as I go through this. Many times when I'm doing a seminar or workshop or just teaching a group of attorneys, I'll ask them, how many attorneys do you really know? And and basically this is what I ask, what their specialty is, where they went to law school, maybe where they went to college, and how many, and I sometimes have people stand up, and as I ask these questions, if they're honest, they'll sit down, and I'll go through those three questions, and pretty much most of the group is still standing, and sometimes getting on where they went to college. But then I get to the next set of questions. It's in these next set of questions that most attorneys really find out that they don't know other attorneys. And basically is, do you know their spouse's name? Do you know their kids' names? Do you know what social, cultural, or charitable organizations they belong to? Do you know what they like to do for fun, hobbies, sports, etc.? Now, why are these important? I'm just going to pick out the social, cultural, and charitable. If you want to get to know attorneys and fellow attorneys, find out. I want to get to know some of the attorneys in say such and such charitable organization. And I don't just join a charitable organization to get to know attorneys. I have a passion for it. But if I find out that two or three of my buddies who I really want to get to know are in say, the Red Cross or the Salvation Army or the veterans groups or whatever, then I can begin to connect with them on that level. I hope you're getting the message that if you want lawyers to refer you, you really need to take the time to get to know these lawyers as your potential referral partners. One of the other pillars, obviously, is lawyers need to trust you. Obviously, this is a slide of the Blue Angels, and you know those guys have absolute trust in each other because one wrong move and they're 6, 7 inches apart, that's disaster. So they have the ultimate trust. But I'm talking about maybe a little bit of different trust with regard to lawyers. Lawyers want to be able to trust you that you're going to be able to do the job. When they refer a client to you, they want to know that you are going to treat that client well, that you're going to do a good job, because ultimately that reflects back on them if you don't do a good job. So we talk about how to develop this trust and some of the things you need to be doing, but again, you got to get to know lawyers. and hopefully they're going to like you. And then you got to have them start trusting you before you're going to get any referrals. So we're going to talk a lot about that. I think you can see that the key to getting referrals from other lawyers is building a relationship. I am sure that you have heard at one point that the fortune is in the follow up, and that is exactly what you must do. If you don't follow up, there's really no reason to go to networking events or getting to know other lawyers or getting to know your clients better, because if you're not following up with them, you're really wasting your time. And there's two specific times that you need to consider following up. The first time you need to consider following up is right after you first meet someone, say at a networking event, a bar association event, or it could be even at a athletic event for your kids, or a birthday party, or some other party that you attend. You meet someone that you really think you want to connect with. So what you need to do is follow up with that person right away. And I think, and I have found that the best way to follow up with someone like that is to have coffee. And there's two specific reasons for that. One, coffee is cheap. You're not going to spend a bunch of money on lunch, but you could buy a cup of coffee and, it's not that expensive. And the other thing is, if both people, when they usually meet for coffee, it's early in the morning and they have to go on to their office to work. And so if you meet someone and it really doesn't work out the way you thought it should work out, or maybe that person thinks the same way, you both have an excuse to end the conversation, leave. And if it does work out, and when you want to continue the relationship, then it's perfect. You both have to go to your office. There's an easy way to end it. You say, hey, let's meet again, and you're all set. But that's the real crux right now, is following up. When you meet someone, right away, the next day, follow up. Or here's the other thing, and I've seen used effectively. I meet someone and we were talking, and hey, we want to meet. I get out my calendar, he gets out his calendar. We look at, well, we can meet tomorrow morning for coffee or the next day for coffee, and we set the appointment right then and there. The second type of follow up is that which you must do after you get that first referral and every referral after that. There is a specific system, a specific number of steps that you really need to go through, and we teach you what those steps are. And if you follow those steps, you'll get other referrals. If you do not follow them, you probably will not get any more referrals from that one person that referred you. One of the things that you must do is track where your referrals are coming from, and also who you're giving referrals to. You need to do this both for referrals with your clients and also referrals to and from fellow attorneys. There are a number of systems out there that can help you keep track of these referrals, and we share a lot of these with you, and they're not all going to be right for everyone. You need to think about which is the best system for you, but the point being is you must be tracking your referrals. I want to thank you for attending the webinar, and I want to let you know we've covered an awful lot of ground in a very short period of time. There's so much more information I want to share with you, and what I want to let you know is we're going to do another webinar in about a week, and we're going specifically to talk about getting referrals from your clients. As I mentioned, that could be the easiest right now as far as getting, a jump start on getting referrals. And we're going to show you how you can change your client's mindset with regard to giving you referrals. There's a number of tactics that I am going to share with you. Some I already gave you just a hint, and others we're going to share and delve into a lot more deeper as we go along. Again, this webinar will be in about a week, and I hope that you will be able to attend, because I think you're going to really see where you can drive your practice by getting referrals and get a real jump start on 2018.